Is my webcam again. And I think I need to turn on Logitech Capture again. I think I might be done with using Logitech Capture. It's not doing something that it was supposed to do, which is to zoom in on my face and follow me around. It did that on my previous computer, but on this one it does just not seem to want to do that. I'll be trying to what's the name, delete this program and install it again. Sorry, I forgot the name. So this was the, yeah, here it's auto placement. I think it might be following me a little bit because the image is shifting, but yeah, no, not doing anything, and it's just taking resources from my computer, and I always forget to turn it on. So I think I'll try and reinstall it, and then oops, I turned it off. And then I'll be done with it. So for today we'll be going back to continue to upgrade our manage app into Laravel 7. I just migrated it to this new computer, and we'll try and see if we can bump it up a little bit further. So we are now on Laravel 6, and we need to move it to Laravel 7. But before we do that, I just want to confirm that rector is working, because I remember that we had to use a lower version, a previous version of rector, just so that it could run on PHP 7 or 8, I'm not sure. By the way, I'm using this terminal just because I have one PHP version on my Windows, and on Laravel, which I'm using for this project, I have a different version, and I don't want to restart my computer, so we'll be going on with PHP 8 on this terminal. And let me just show you, if I run it on here, we are on 8.1, which I don't think is compatible with what we are doing, and so we'll just be using this for now. So let's go on and try and run rector. Let me refresh my memory on how to do that. So we just need to run, sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather, and yeah, cannot auto wire. That class was not found, so let me go. Oh yeah, because I've commented out both options to run rector. Sorry, this is the old version, I think, and below is the newest one. Oh, let me go by commit date, 8/2/7/12. Yeah, this is the older version of rector, and this is the way to call with the newer version. And let's try and use this one. It's still not working. Let me check the documentation to see what is the requirement for the version 11. I think is the one that we're using. Yep, 11 what? 11.6. What is the PHP version required? PHP 7 or 8. So yeah, it should be working because we are with 8. And let's dig into what is the problem. We cannot resolve the argument rector config. So this means that this argument is not being passed, which I think that this might only be an issue if we use rector earlier than v12. I think that change was done on v12. I think we've already seen something about that. God, my voice is really failing. It wasn't this bad. And yep, let's try and bump our rector to 12. Let's check out the, why is it not filtering? Let's check out the requirements for PHP for version 12. What? Ah, okay, the tags. Find the tag. 1223 composer.json, and it's PHP 8, so I think we can move at least to that. What are the newest versions, and can we move on to them? With 15, what is the requirement? I just want to check out the composer.json. Come on. To see the PHP version it requires. Yeah, so let's try and move on to version 15 of rector. Let's run a composer update. It should only be upgrading rector and its dependencies. And let's try and run rector again. It won't be actually processing anything because we've run rector before finishing our last upgrade. Sorry, let me try and shut down these notifications so that they aren't messing up the stream, and that's it. So rector actually is processing some files, which maybe it's just running through them, but it shouldn't be doing anything actually. Meanwhile, let's go and take a look to what we need to do on Laravel to move to version 7 from version 6. Hi Sharab, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure I just killed your name, but yeah, I'm trying to read it as a Portuguese person speaking in English. But hi, thank you for being here. So, to move to Laravel 7 from 6, we need to require Symfony 5. Oh, here we go, updating the dependencies. And PHP 7.2 is required, but we've seen that we can work with 8. So we'll need to bump up the versions for these packages. And there are also some first-party packages that have major releases for Laravel 7. Browser kit testing, we're not using. Envoy, we're not using. Not Horizon. Yeah, we are not using any of these packages. We will be having to upgrade Laravel, no, HTML collective? Laravel collective. The one thing I'm fearing is that apparently this was dropped. Oh, Laravel 10 compatibility. Oh, great. I was fearing that this package was dropped. Come on. It just redirects to GitHub. So I was fearing that this package was dropped on Laravel 5 or Laravel 6, but apparently they make it work with Laravel 10, as it says here on the GitHub repository. So if we are on version 6x, we won't be needing to upgrade that. And I think we are already there. No, we need to upgrade it one more time. Let's see how this is going. And we have a Symfony exception. Now, is this coming from rector or is this coming from Laravel? Let's go on and Google this. Well, you can briefly. Oh yeah, sure. Rector is a tool that is used to upgrade PHP, usually old versions of PHP to newer versions. It does that for you automatically. You install it on your project and then you call it in a config file called rector.php. And then you define the rules that you want to move your code. So let's say you want rector to set code quality rules or set your coding style to a fixed style of the PHP version that you are using. Let's say if you want to move to PHP 5.2 and you want to enforce rules that were developed on that version, you can call that rule for rector and it will automatically bump the files that you have defined. So it will look in the file here. It will look on the paths for these files and it will go through each one of them and it will bump them for PHP 5.2. So imagine that you're using an old version of PHP that is not compatible with a version that you want to move to. So maybe you are using some old features of that PHP version that are no longer used, and rector will hopefully, this is also something I am testing, change that automatically for you. We are also using Laravel plugin for rector, which will, as you move through the versions of Laravel as well, you need to actually go through each version, also for PHP and for Laravel. It will go through the changes that it's has rules for and will change your files for you. I thought that I could just upgrade my composer.json and then run rector with the Laravel plugin, and then it would do all the changes that are on the upgrade guide for us. But actually, after talking with the creator of rector and the maintainer of rector for Laravel plugin, it does a lot of the changes, but you still need to go through the upgrade guide to make sure that you are not missing anything. So these live series are something that I'm using to also figure out rector and see exactly what it can do for you. And we've been moving this project from 5.2. I think we're now on version 6. Also, I need to add a disclaimer that I've added on this video description that I'm going through this on a really fast pace and I'm not checking to see if the website is actually working or not. Also, before you do any refactoring, you really should have tests in place to make sure that you are not causing issues to your website. I'm pretty sure if you go now to the website, it won't be working. But since this is a personal project, which I'm having fun on upgrading and will be having fun on working on it, I'm not really concerned about this, because what I want to do is move it to the newest versions, and then if I have problems, like here we have a problem on the login, we'll go through it as they come, as the issues come along, and we'll try and solve it. So I'm not really concerned with this, but what you should do is move on to a newest version of Laravel. Make sure that you have tests in place, even if it's just smoke tests, So a test that makes sure that the pages are loading. Ideally, you should have a test suite better than that, but sometimes it is what it is. And go through the upgrades and see if everything is working. And if everything is working, then you move on to the version higher up until you get to the version that you want to. But here, I'm just fast pacing this, so I'm not really concerned with that. And okay, we were going to Google for what is happening here. And we have a problem here. Let's see. Call to undefined function, call to undefined function. No idea where to start to debug. Oh, and Thomas. Oh, so this is actually on rector repository. If you include the function manually, and the intention was to migrate, and I want to see what, let's go down to see what actually fixed this. Should rector be scoped? So what fixed this? Yeah, we don't. This is not officially yet, but we have a WIP 7.1 version. I'm wondering if this is a problem with the PHP version, but I'm pretty sure that we have used PHP 8 before. But hey, let's go and try and go with rector 12 instead. It shouldn't be an issue because both rector 12 and 15 use the same they both required PHP 8 or 7, and with version 11, what was that? It was the same, yeah, 7 or 8, so it shouldn't be a problem with this. Let's go with the debug flag that Thomas suggested there, and again, not working. I'm in a little bit of a loss here. Let's go back to version 11, composer update. And yes, sometimes you just have to bang your head trying to see what's happening and think a bit slowly and read a little bit more on the GitHub repository and on Google to see what is happening. So we are now on rector 11. And let's try and run rector again without the debug option. Okay, so let's actually go through the documentation. Oops. I wonder if the documentation for rector is versioned. It would be cool, but I think it isn't. In rector PHP, you can define paths, rules, and sets for your code. We are using that nomenclature, but rector is not running because this is the syntax for V12, and I wonder where is the syntax for V11. Running rector, okay. Container configuration, yep. This is the syntax that we should go with for version 11 of rector. Oh, and we need to use these imports, which, oh, they are already here. Also, let's try and use this command instead. And call to undefined method in Laravel manage rector Laravel 6.0, which is being imported. Let me try and let's try and run another rule instead of the Laravel 60. Here we can define what sets of rules will be applied. Let's go with code quality. And let's try and run this to see if there are still any errors. There are. And is it the same? Cannot or wire service rector Laravel model factory. No, it's not the same error. This class was not found. Let's see if we have that on our vendor. Vendor simplify. Nope, we don't. I'm in a little bit of a loss here. Let me try and open this to see and take a look at that file. And it's using the simplify. Yep, these classes are not here. Why is this package calling a vendor that it wasn't installed? Composer.json, simplify, it's not here. That's fun. Oh, it should come with rector. Rector vendor file should be here, I think, because it's on the repository. But it's not. Let's try and do something else. Let's go ahead and remove rector from our repository. Runner composer update. We'll be trying to remove rector, install it again, and then, yep, it's gone, to see if those missing vendor files were added. Now we are installing rector again. And it should be here. Rector, vendor. Yep, this this folder was not here before. I wonder why. Let's go and run rector to see if this is not a problem anymore. Okay. Oh, let's try and composer dump auto load. I think, yeah. Because it's saying that that class is not present, but it is now because we've just confirmed it. Simplify, it's Astral, right? Astral, and then node traverser, and then simple color. I'm thinking maybe the problem could be the way that I'm calling rector. Because I'm calling it with PHP. I wonder if there's any other way to run it. Let me actually go to one of my older videos and see how I was calling rector. So this is the current video, which I don't want to get into. Best to upgrade, no, live, rector. I'll mute this. I just want to see the command that I'm using to run rector. And what was that? Vendor rector init. Whoa, so I was just calling it like that and it was working, and it isn't now. Let's see if I was using it in another way. Oh god, see, my webcam is hiding the commands that I'm calling. That's why I moved it to the right edge of the screen. Also because if I was writing any code down below, it would be on the left, so you wouldn't be able to see it. That's why I moved it to the right corner. So this is the example of rector being run. It will show you what it did. Oh god, I really wanted to see the command that I was running. Let me see if I go to a more recent video. Oh, it's still covering it. Oh, here. This is a smaller window. Maybe we'll get some luck. And what was I using? Composer update, nope. Composer update, not again. Come on, come on. My theory is that maybe by calling PHP before calling the command, it is loading actually rector a little bit differently. I'm not quite sure on that. It's just a hunch. Let's say it. Oh, come on. I really wanted to see how I was calling it. Cache clear. Composer update again. I think we'll be a bit out of luck. Composer update still. Oh, I'm having the same problem there. But I called rector on PHP Storm. We can try and do that to see if it runs differently, because it's on a different terminal. Yes, the PHP version will be different, but let's give it a go. What's the command actually? Okay, here on this terminal we don't need to add PHP, but we have, I think, the same problem. Cannot autowire. So yes, running PHP vector and running rector on these two terminals are actually the same thing. So the problem doesn't stem from there. Yeah. Let me just use this on the GitHub repository for rector. And if this doesn't come up with anything, cannot or wire, yep, that's the one. What was the answer? I need to install an extension, apparently. I'm pretty sure I didn't do that before. But let's try it anyway. Let's run rector again. Nope, still not it. It is better to use rector directly in composer.json so it has the auto access to your whole project. Yeah, but composer require dev rector. Yep, that's what we did. Vendor bin rector minus version. And then extension installer, which was just what we did. Extension installer, yep. And then running it again, yep, still the same problem. It should not be installed extra again, so maybe I shouldn't have run that command. What was changed here? At this project being apart, it shouldn't be installed in addition. Yeah, so I just installed that and I shouldn't have. I'm really confused now. Composer update to remove that. And soon I'll need, oh yeah, I need to go now. And I will need to be looking into this to see what is the problem. I'm really at a loss here because rector was working perfectly before on the other computer. The mythical, it worked on my machine. But yeah, I'll try and go back to my older computer, see what versions of PHP and all of that I was using. These versions should be the same. And I don't know. Cannot or wire. What is happening here? You don't need to require. Yep, doesn't help. Well, I'm sorry, didn't get anything done today, pretty much. Yeah, a bit disappointing, but sometimes it is what it is. Thank you for joining me and see you next time.